Welcome to Motivated Results. So topic of today is another mobility, flexibility, self-myofascial release, whatever you want to call it. It's another point, another technique, if you will, that can help benefit you in your fitness lifestyle. So before we get into what smashing is, let's talk about the tools. And it's one of those that varies so much. You can go and buy very, very specialized tools for different parts of the body. You can buy something that will do the whole body. Each of these things looks very different, but they all do the exact same thing. They help break down the tissue that's been tightened and hurt over the years and then rebuilt. And so it helps loosen up all that tissue so you have your range of motion, your flexibility, and there's no imbalances because of the tightness of the tissue. So let's talk about some of the beginner stuff, some of the different tools, if you will, that will help benefit you in this. And hopefully you guys pick up a couple tips, and then we'll move on to the actual smashing, if you will. So for beginners, what I usually recommend is beginners or people that have very tight musculature or very tight ligaments or whatever you want to call it. They require something that's not as intense. And what I suggest to most people is starting off slow and then working your way up, because if you go in and go with the most hardcore piece of them all, you're going to be in serious pain. And if you've ever had a very deep tissue massage, it hurts. It hurts like hell. And if you've ever used a rumble roller or anything of that nature where it really digs into the muscle tissue, it's very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. So there are starter pieces. There is things that I suggest that people start off with. First of which is going to be the ever so popular racquetball. As you can tell, the racquetball definitely has some give to it. It's definitely not tough at all, and when you're using it up against your body, it does provide a certain level of pressure, but nothing where you will be aching in pain. Not guaranteed, because some of you guys probably will. That's how tight your tissue is, but this has a high level of give, so that if you need it, it's there. Number one. Number two is the lacrosse balls. The peanut, which I've showed you guys how to make before, which I will link below, is actually made out of lacrosse balls. As you can tell, same size, same thing. That's what I used to make it in the video. Lacrosse balls have no freaking give to them. They're actually very, very, very tight. They have no give. So a lot of people use these because they're fairly inexpensive. You can pick them up at any of your local sporting goods stores, and they're fairly inexpensive. You can buy a pack of like 6 for about 20 bucks. So that's plenty of lacrosse balls to have with you. Throw one in your gym bag, throw one in your work bag, throw one in your meal bag, whatever. So next option, boom. So this is the next piece, and keep in mind there are different variations of this. Each company comes out with their own. And before I mention this product is made by Rumble Roller, and I have no monetary connection to them. I have no personal connection to them. I have no connection to them whatsoever. I just really have a high level of respect for the products they produce and the things that they're coming out with. So not just the ideas behind the products, but also the quality behind the product. It's called a Beastie. And so when you purchase one of these guys, it comes with this little stand and pop it off, and you can use it just like you would with the lacrosse ball. Keep in mind that the Beastie has very little to no give, and I'm leaning more towards the no. Let me see if I can capture it here in the camera. So you see that I'm pretty much pressing out, there's very little to no movement in that little nipple. So at the end of the day, this will be the most painful, and this will be the most uncomfortable for you. In the process of smashing, that's sometimes the best situation, but for some of you that aren't used to this process, it's gonna hurt like hell. Not worth lying to you. So keep in mind that Rumble Roller does come out with a large number of other products, and so do other companies that do the same exact thing. They just look different, they feel a little different. I will be doing a review on this guy as well, some of the Rumble Roller pieces and any other things that I come across that I can give you my thoughts on. But let's get to smashing. So smashing, really all it is a process in which you use your own body weight or any sort of resistance to put pressure between your body and one of these tools. So for example, I have very tight upper pecs and also like the front delts, and actually most of the delts, especially after a heavy push day. So what I end up doing is using the ball to smash, quote unquote, the certain areas in order to break down the tissue. Very similar to the rumble roller. I'll actually link that playlist below. It's the same process, except you are using a smaller object that is more precise on that one detail. So different examples of this is going to be when you, see if I can give you guys a better shot here. So in some of the videos you'll actually notice that I go up against certain walls and I will place the item on the wall and then kind of lay my shoulder or whatever, you know, for example, whatever area you're trying to get into. I will usually lay that area in and really break in the tissue and try to get into those really tight areas. How do you know you have a tight area? It's usually the part that hurts. Sexy pose.
So here we go. A lot of people have the rear delt that kind of bugs them. If not, some of the lower traps, whatever your issue is. I mean, you could use a tool like this where you can set it up in the place that you're trying to break down, kind of lay on it, and then if you need additional pressure, there's always lifting up your hips, applying more pressure to the actual piece, or kind of helping move it a little bit and working the surrounding areas once you try to loosen it up a little bit. That's with the lacrosse ball, and that kind of hurts a little bit. This guy's gonna hurt. So make sure you position the piece in the right area and then just kind of lay on it. The spikes will help kind of loosen up the area and really just dig into that little area. I don't think you guys can even see that. Kind of help dig into it a little bit. And then just kind of move around a little bit. Make sure you work the surrounding area as well. And there you go. Kind of basic principle.
So, I don't know how helpful that is. I'm trying to kind of run through. It's very similar once you get to foam rolling, and it's going to give you different results because some of these areas are going to not be reachable by something like a foam roller. Something like this is very, very useful. This one does have a little bit more give. You're not going to be able to escape something like this, where it's really going to dig into those knots and really help break them loose. That's basically it, guys. It's a pretty quick run through. Just wanted to give you guys an additional technique, additional thought, maybe bring some tools into your repertoire that you might have not already had. But that's it. Questions, comments, let me know, and we'll be continuing this series next time.